Now we go to unit conversion. Just like how we convert different currencies, because we have all these units, metric units, we have imperial units, their prefixes, we have everything. So we need to be converting units. Sometimes you see a unit in millimeter and you want to convert it to centimeter, or you see a unit in yard and you want to convert it to inches. All right, and it's just like when you have when you have a dollars and you want to convert them to CFA. So it's the same way. All right. So units of measurement can be easily converted from one form to another, okay, at a predetermined rate. So the word rate here is very important. Rate, the word rate. Let me write it down. There's my pen. Rate, all right, rate. All right, this rate here is very, very important. It's just like when like what is the exchange rate between, let's say, dollar and dollars, right? Dollar and dollars. What is the exchange rate? The exchange rate is, I think, 74 right now. I don't know, but it's around 74. All right, so this is rate. So just like there are rates between currencies, there are also rates between units. All right, so you realize that, for example, just like we talk about in the metric prefixes. All right, so the rate between, let's say, centimeter and meter is what? Is 100. That is the rate. Same which let's say millimeter and centimeter. All right, millimeter and centimeter. All right, millimeter and centimeter. What is the rate? Is 10, because 10 millimeters is equal to what? One centimeter. All right, so all these things also, we do not need to cram them. All right, because we have things called unit converters. Most of our phones, we have what is called unit converters. All right, you can download a unit converter app, so that when you want to convert anything, you just use the unit converter app. All right, like here, you realize this is the calculator on the what, and on the laptop. All right, this is the Windows calculator. But you will realize that when I press here, I will see the converters here. The converter. It will ask me whether I want to convert currency, volume, length, weight. That is weight or mass. Area. You see area is here. Speed. All these things are here. Whatever you want to convert. Let's say if we want to convert length, it will bring us here. You see centimeter, inches. Let's say you want to convert between centimeters and meters. All right, when you press here, it will take you to all the types of units. Both imperial and metrics are here. So all the phones and computers have this kind of stuff. As I mentioned here, okay, the rate refers to the exchange rate between units. Okay, yards to feet is like 3 centimeters to meters is 100, dollar to dollars is. By the time I was writing it was 73. Now it's 74. Maybe after this video it will be 75. This shows you how much the dollars is falling. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we are able to calculate the cubic meters of the items that we recently received from China. Remember, cubic meter is 1 meter by 1 meter by. It shows how much space an object takes, an entire space. Let's say this photo here is a 1 cubic meter cargo item, like stack of boxes. All right, you see here 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. All right, so for us recently, we received items from China, and let me show you how they are like. All right, so I think it's in our catalog shop. All right, so okay, so these are the items we received. These are tents, tables. All right, tables. You see how they come in their boxes. All right, so remember, for example, this box here that you are seeing here, this box here, like each carton has a space, right? It has a dimension, and each dimension, if you zoom in closely, you are going to see that the dimension of this one is 92 centimeter by 7.5 centimeter by 71 centimeter. This is the volume of each carton, right? The carton, this is the rectangle tables. You see, this is the rectangle table. All right, we bought 20 of them, 20 rectangle tables, 50 round tables. But here, let's just focus on the rectangle table and see how much they charge us. The rectangle table, how much they charge us to bring the rectangle tables from China to here. All right, so first we need to know the volume. All right, so the volume is what? The volume is 92 centimeters by 7.5 centimeter by 71 centimeters. All right. So this thing, if you use your phone here, all of our phones have calculators. So if you press the calculator here, you are going to know the volume is in centimeters. All right. So 92 centimeters, 92 by 7.5 by 71. All right. So this is the each carton. Each carton is what? Each carton is 48,000. All right, 48,990 centimeter cube. All right, centimeter cube. All right, cm cube. All right. The cube has to be up, but I don't know how to make it up right now. All right. This is what should be each carton. This is the volume of space each carton here occupies. Each carton here occupies this space. Okay, 48,990 centimeter cube. All right, but it is how many of them? 20 of them. All right, so you multiply it by 20. All right, so you multiply it by 20 cartons, and this is going to give you what? This is going to give you 979,800. Okay, this is centimeter what? Cube. But imagine, but you have to know that they charge us in meter cube, because they say that every 1 meter cube, let me write it down. They say every 1 meter cube is equals to they charge us $250. Let me put the dollar sign. They charge us $250. All right, so that means that we need to convert this into what? Into meter cube. All right, so that we can know how much we are going to pay in dollars. All right, so 1 meter cube is this thing. So how much do you think it is going to be in dollars? All right, so 250 in dollars is how much? I think 250 in dollars is supposed to be, all right, so if we bring it here, we are going to say what? 250 by what? By 74. All right, so each CBM they charge us 18,500. This is what they charge us for each CBM, 18,500. All right, so now this thing we have on our computer here, on our phone here, the 979,800. This thing is in centimeter cube, but how can we convert it in meter cube? All right, we just have to copy it. We go to our converter app. All right, so we all have converter apps in our phone. You can download it on Google Play. There are different converter apps. All right, remember I told you you can calculate weight here, length, speed, foil, currency, area, volume. Remember we talk about all these things. So now what are we interested is in volume. All right, volume. All right, so here you realize, you see, you have all the different types of volume. Like you have liters here, cubic liters, milliliters, hectoliters, paraliter, megaliter, hectoliter. You see, we have all the prefixes, and when you come to the imperial units, everything is, you have cups, pins, cups. You see, the unit converter shows you all the units of conversion. All right, you can even search them here using the search button. All right, but here what we have first is cubic centimeters. That's what we copied, right? Cubic centimeters. All right, so I bring it here and I copy it here, cubic centimeters. All right, so this is the value of the cubic centimeter, 979,800 cubic centimeter. So when you paste it here, it is going to show you all the other units, corresponding other units, because it is going to show you that in cubic meter. Right now what we are interested in is in cubic meters, right? Cubic meter is what we are interested in, and it shows that it's 0.98 cubic meters. All right, 0.98 cubic meters. All right, so this 0.98 cubic meters. All right, we know that this thing is 0.98 cubic meters, and we also know that as well, every cubic meter is this thing. So we calculate it like this. We use 0. In the calculator here, 0.9. What is it again? 0.980. All right, 0.980. All right, times what is how much do they charge us? 18,000, right? 18,500. All right, so that means that we have to pay $18,130 is to get those boxes, 18 tables from China. This is real time, all right? To get 18 boxes from China to the Gambia, we have to pay this 18,000 for them to bring us, all right? I think even if you look at our asset database, we normally calculate it here. If you look at our orders, you will see here stock, you see total CBM, unit CBM, total shipping, and all this stuff is here. All right, so you see here 18,700. This is close to what we were calculating, as you can see. All right, so that's it. So unit converter is here, the app is here, the calculator. So there is no excuse for not knowing all this stuff. Just like this example here, which of these is bigger? Is it 100 meters? Sorry, 1,000 meters, 100,000 centimeters, 1 kilometer, okay, 1 million millimeters. Which of this is bigger? Which of this is bigger? All right. The answer is they are all representing the same length. All right. They all represent what? The same length. All right. Let me demonstrate it here. Let's say this length here. Okay. If it is 1 kilometer, all right, the same length A to B, all right. Maybe you don't want to mention it in kilometer. Maybe you have other units that you like to mention it, all right. If you want to mention it in meters, what do you say? You say it's 1,000 meters, right? 1,000 meters, all right, because 1,000 meters makes 1 kilometer, all right. Maybe you don't like meters, you like centimeters. Then you add another 3 zeros because 100,000 centimeters makes 1 kilometer. We are all referring to the same distance. Nothing is changed. It's not like because if you use 100,000, the distance will be longer. No, this is because we are using a smaller unit. All right. The smaller we go, the more zeros. Let's say we want it in millimeters. All right. Some people, everything is millimeter. I like my welder man. He never uses anything other than millimeters, all right? Because when you use millimeters, you will barely have any 0 point or this point, this. I think it's perfect for welderman and welderman and especially welderman, to be quite frank, all right? Because you will avoid decimal points and stuff, all right? For him, he will tell you, like me, I will just say it's 1.5 meters. 1.5 meters, and he will tell me it's 1,500 millimeters. All right, for him everything is in millimeter. He will say 3,000 millimeters. I will say, bro, just say 3 meters, man. Just say 3 meters. Don't say 3,000 millimeters. All right, for him always is in millimeters. Like for example, this kilometer here, if you want to say it in millimeter, you just say 1 million. All right, 1 million millimeters will give you 1 kilometer. So this distance you can say it in any unit. You can even say it in miles, all right, because this is like around 0.8 miles. Yeah, the same distance, all right. So this is how we convert unit, all right. We say that the value of a quantity of an object will always remain the same no matter which unit of measurement you use. The only thing that changes is the number on the unit, all right. I think I gave an example here. The distance between Westfield and Banjul is 7 kilometers. It cannot get shorter or longer depending on which unit you use. Like if you use 7 kilometers, if you use meters, it will be 7,000 meters. Just because of you say 7,000 doesn't mean that now the distance will be longer. It's just that the unit contains more numbers. Okay, if the price of a particular phone in the market, I've given an example of a phone even. If this is $10,000, all right, if the price, let's say, of this phone here, or the phone I'm using here is 10,000, all right, in the market, all right, you may offer to pay in dollars, which is example $150, all right, or in CFA, which is 100,000 CFA, all right. So the value of the phone remains the same. It's just that the currency in which you want to offer it. Because it doesn't mean if you offer it if you pay somebody 100,000 CFA, that means that you are paying them more. It's not that, because you are paying them the same value of the 10,000, all right. And $150 is not like because of these things have a lot of zero here, and this $150 is like small something. No, because this value is a bigger unit, all right. So it's what right. So the same thing with units, all right. This length here will be the same, but if you use like different units, you will have different numbers, but the length will always be the same. All right. Another example, I've given a lot of examples here. Another example is a passing height. Your height at a given time will be the same whether it is like denominated in meters or that is 2 meters, for example, or in equivalent in feet, or 6 feet, 6.5 feet. 2 meters is like 6.5 feet. If I say I'm 6.5 feet, doesn't make me, hey, this thing is 2 and this one is 6. 6 is bigger. No, it's all the same. It's just that they are denominated in different units. All right. So as we know, the example here from Westfield to Serekunda Market is exactly like 1 kilometer, all right? But if you say it in meters, you will say 1,000 meters. If you say it in centimeters, you say it is like 100,000 centimeters. If you say it in millimeters, you will say 100,000 1 million millimeters, all right? So it's all talking about the same distance. And here, for example, if you look at the 1.5, that is the $30 water bottle. The $30 water bottle is 1.5 liters. All right, 1.5. That is like 3 of this. That is like 3 small water bottles combined together. All right? Because 1,000 milliliters makes 1 liter. So if you do this, like, or you can use it in gallons. In gallons, you can call it this bottle, water bottle, is 0.4 gallons. All right. The same thing with my height. For example, like 62 kilos. All right, if I weigh 62 kilos, maybe I'm in America. Those people, they don't understand kilos. I can say I weigh 137 pounds, because they understand pounds, all right? Or in other places, they understand what pounds. So if you say I have 137 pounds, now they're going to relate. Imagine I wanted to say my weight in grams. This is 62,000 grams. So all this thing is so that we can be able to call things like in a better way. All right, it is better to say, everything, if everything was in meters, because a meter is the base unit. If everything we have to say it in meters, for example. All right, we won't be saying 1 kilometer, because imagine saying the distance between here and there is 300,000 meters, while you can say just 30 kilometers, or so this will avoid, using different units will avoid us using too many big numbers, to use just simple plain numbers. Here it's better to say 1.5 liters than to say some people will prefer saying it 1,500 milliliters, and everything else. All right. Units can be converted from smaller to larger units and vice versa. All right, like from grams to kilograms, or from euro to dollars, and from meters to yards. Okay, when you convert from smaller units to larger units, you divide. All right, here is, I think I've made it here. All right, so here, like from smaller units, you have smaller, let's say smaller units, millimeter to centimeter to meter. It gets, like, from here to up goes, it gets bigger. From up to down, it gets smaller. Imagine you are from millimeter and you want to convert it to centimeter, you divide. When you want to go from small to up, you divide. When you want to go from up to down, what you do, you multiply. All right, it's very easy. All right, because for example, when you are going from, you divide by the rate. You see, this is the rate. All right, multiply by the rate. When going from small, let's say this is from larger units, you are going to smaller units, you multiply by the rate. So imagine you want to convert 100 centimeters to meters. All right, so you know that centimeter is smaller than meter, right? Centimeter is smaller than meter, all right? Because you have millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer. All right, so it's smaller. So what do you do when you are moving from small to big? You divide by the rate. Let's say their rate is 100, right? You divide here by 100. All right, so you have this to cancel this. So that means that you are 100 divided by 100 is 1. All right, so that means that 100 centimeters is equals to 1 meter. All right, 1 meter. All right, like the same way, if you want to like move from meter to centimeter, what do? You multiply. All right, you multiply. Let's say 1 meter should be equals to how many centimeters? All right, you multiply by the rate. You say 1 times 100, then that will give you 100 centimeters. All right, so that's what I'm saying here. The same thing with millimeter. If you have, let's say, 26 millimeter, and you want to convert it to centimeter, what do? You multiply by the rate. What is the rate? What is the rate? It's 10, right? It's from centimeter. Sorry, you divide, because this is smaller than this. You divide by the rate. So you say 26 divided by 10. That is like going to give you 2.6 centimeters. All right, so that means that 26 centimeter is 26 millimeter is 2.6 millimeters. All right, so it's something that you have to know as well. All right, I've made it here. Moving from small to large, you divide by the rate. From large to small, you multiply by the rate. All right, as I said to you, in this time of age, we barely use our hair. You just use the unit converter on your phone, or you use Google, or you use whatever. If you, for me, like I've been using this since 1990 Mbahal, so I can easily, like, even without calculating from my head, if I see like something that is in millimeters, I can, say it in meters. I know the rates. We have been calculating since time immemorial. All right. All right. So another also thing to keep in mind is the rates. All right. So imagine, for example, you want to convert between in area. Here we have been talking about, like lengths, without cubes, without squares. All right. So it's very important here to note that there is a common mistake people normally make when converting square and cubic units. All right. For example, when converting centimeter cube to meter cube, for instance, most people just divide by the rate. All right. That's not the thing. Like if you are, e.g., 10 centimeter cube, this 10 centimeter square, for example, 10 centimeter square. I'm saying cube. All right. 10 centimeter square to meter square. People will just do 10 divided by 100, and they will say 0.1 square meter. This is wrong. All right. So what you do in this case is that you have to square the rate as well. All right. So let me demonstrate it here so that you can see. All right. Let's say 10 centimeter cube, 10 centimeter square. All right. To meter square. All right. So here is very easy. What you do is 10 centimeter divided by the rate. Remember, when moving to divide by the rate. All right. But here the rate also you have to square it. All right. You have to square it. All right. So when you square it, you will have what? 10 divided by 10 square is 10,000. 100 square is 10,000. And then this will give you what? All right. This cancel this. It will give you 0.001 meter cube. All right. So this is the mistake people normally do. Remember, all these things, when you put them in the calculator, you know, it's just that when people are calculating manually, they make this mistake. All right. But when you punch it in the calculator or unit converter, it gives you the correct stuff always. Like, because when you go to this, it gives you that. All right. So all right. So this is what you do, and you get 0.001. Moreover, 1 feet to centimeter, like a foot to centimeter, you do this. You divide by the. Sorry, a foot. I think a foot is bigger, so you multiply. Foot is bigger than a centimeter, because this is a foot. All right, this is a foot. This is 1 foot. This distance here is 1 foot, and 1 centimeter is like here. It's like from zero here to here. This is 1 centimeter, like this distance. So that means that a foot is bigger. So when you are converting them, you multiply. So when you multiply, but you have to also cube the rate. 30.48 is the rate. All right, you have to also cube the rate so that you can have it in centimeter cube. And now let's talk about the metric and imperial corresponding units. All right. I've said here metric units normally has corresponding or similar imperial units. That is, e.g., millimeter is similar to inch, centimeter is similar to foot, meter is similar to yards, hectare is similar to acre, kilogram is similar to pound. All right. In let's say in America or places where they use imperial system, they don't have their millimeters, centimeters, inch. They use this thing. All right. So now instead of them saying millimeter, using like millimeter to measure small stuff, they use inches. All right. It's not like millimeter is equal to inches, because 1 inch is like 25 millimeters. All right. And 1 feet is around 30 centimeters. All right. If you look at this thing here, this is a 1 foot ruler. All right. This is a 1 foot ruler. All right. And this ruler is 30 centimeters. All right. 30 centimeter. They call it the 1 foot ruler because it's exactly one foot. All right. And it is 30 centimeters. All right. So you see this ruler, this tape line here is around. You see here, for example, you see the 1 feet here. I don't know whether you can see it here. All right, they wrote here 1 foot, 1 ft. It shows that from here to that end is 1 foot. All right. So 1 foot is around, like, so that's it. Like, for example, a kilometer and a mile. A mile is a little bit more than a kilometer. And when you talk about like hectare and acre, milliliters, they say cup. They say cup. Liters, they say quarts, gallons, barrels. All right. So kilogram, they say pounds. Milligrams, for example, or grams, they say ounces. Ton. At least here they a little bit similar metric system and the imperial system. So now we know that, okay, like for example, also 1 million cubes. I made this diagram here to show you that 1 million cubes, what does that mean? It means, like, for example, if you have this is a one cubic meter, 1 cubic meter means 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. All right, so how many imagine how many 1 centimeter cubes make 1 meter cube. All right, so it's like, you need, let's say, what you see, 1 meter here is like what 1 meter is like, it's like 100 centimeters. So 100 centimeter times 100 centimeter times 100 centimeter. You see, 100 centimeter times 100 centimeter times 100 centimeter gives you 1 million centimeter cubes. That means that these cubes here, you will need 1 million of them to create a 1 meter, a 1 meter cube. You need 1 million centimeter cubes, 1 million centimeter cubes like this to create 1 meter cube. You see how conversion works? It's not like when you want to convert 1 meter cube to 1 centimeter cube, you just divide it by 100 the rate. No, you divide it by 100 times 3. And what is 100 times 3 is 1 million. All right. What I'm trying to say here, 1 meter cube. What does 1 meter cube means? It means 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. It means the length is 1 meter, the width is 1 meter, and the height is 1 meter. This is called 1 meter cube or cubic meters. All right. So now, imagine you want to turn it into cubic centimeters. All right. Remember, when you are moving from the bigger unit to a smaller unit, you multiply, right? So 1 cubic meter is equal 1 cubic meter times 100, because the rate is 100. So this 100, you don't just say 100 and half, like 100 centimeter cube. No, you have to cube also this 100. Remember, I told you, when you are converting cubics and stuff, you need to also cube the rate. All right. So this is what gives it 1,000 cube is like 100 cube. Is like 100 the cubic root is like this. 100 times 100 times 100, which gives you 1 million. 1 million. All right. 1 million centimeter cube. All right. So this is what is here. If you look at this picture here, this is what is the most. You need this small cube, 1 million of them, to have this 1 meter cube. Right? So common conversions, unlike the metric system, the conversion rate within imperial system is not based on the fixed rate, which is base 10. For example, if we are moving from, let's say, I think I have the diagram here. If you are moving from let's say millimeters to centimeters to kilometers to meters to this is base 10. It's like the base of 10. Like, the base of 10 is like 100, 110, 100, 1000, 2000. It's nothing like 50 there. A base of 100, you will never see there 50 or 40. You will always see there multiples of 10. As you can see here, it's like you're gonna have like 10, 100, all right, and you're gonna have 1000, and you're gonna have you're just gonna add the zeros. All right, this is what makes the metric system beautiful. All right, because you don't deal with like other numbers like 50 or 17 or 11, or you only deal with 10. You only deal with base of tens. All right, tens. And this one, if it gets small, I get 0.1, 0.001. Okay, it's like this is how it is like. All right, but it's not. But unlike the metric system, the imperial system does not have something like this. All right, you see from millimeter to centimeter, the rate is 10. From centimeter to meter, the rate is 100. From meter to kilometer, the rate is 1000. All right, I think I made him here. If all right. All right, so you see, this is what I'm telling you, the prefixes. So you either have, you see, this is only 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 0, 0, 0. From uni, which is 1 meter, to deca. We barely use deca and hectare. We jump straight to kilo and mega. You see, that means that you need 1 million megabytes to have one meter. To have 1 unit of a meter. So you see, so you need like almost 1 billion gigabytes to have. So, and when you are going down, you use 0.1. It's like dividing it by 100. Divided like this one, you are dividing it by 10. Here you are dividing it by 100, because 1 meter, in order to have a centimeter, you need to divide a meter by 100. Remember when we talk about it? So this is a little bit complicated, but just to tell you how beautiful the imperial system is, because it is based on the base. It is based on base 10. All right, it is based on base 10. All right. Okay, so moving on here, you see it's easier for metric system. One kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Very easy. But come to the imperial system. 1 mile is 1,760 yards. All right. 1 yard is like 3 feet. 1 foot is like 12 inches. All right. So this is a 1 foot ruler. So this is a 1 foot ruler, for example. You need 12 inches. All right, and the inches are here. Like if you look at this, you will see here 0 inch. You will see here like 0 inch, 1 inch. All right, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch. All right, 7 inch, 8 inch, up to 12 inch. If you can see the 12 inch here. Oh, so I don't know whether the webcam is capturing it, but this is the 12 inch. All right, so 12 inches make 1 foot. All right, so here it's not like the power of 10. That's why it is a little bit complicated, the imperial system. Nobody likes the imperial system unless America. See, here is beautiful, power of 10. This is length. All right, so you can convert also between metric and imperial system. Remember, all these things are inside calculators, unit converters. You don't need to cram them. It's just that, sometimes you need to know them, so that you can calculate straight from your head sometimes without needing calculator. Because anytime I see 1 inch, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's around, picture it in my head, yeah, it's around 2.5, 2.5 centimeters. Anytime I see 1 foot, I'm like, it's around 30 centimeters. Every time I see 1 yard, I'm like, okay, it's around 91 centimeters, which is a little bit less than a meter. When I see 1 meter, I'm like, it's going to be one yards plus. Like a yard is a little bit smaller than a meter, you see. When I see 1 mile, I'm like, it's 1.5. It's like a kilometer and a half. That gives you 1 mile. Okay, remember all these things you can get in the calculators, but it's good to know them, especially the basic ones. Okay, I know that 1 hectare is equal to like 10. Here is supposed to be millimeter square. All right, it's supposed to be square. All right, so the 1,000 square meters gives you what? 1 hectare. Okay, an acre is like 70 by 70 yards, something like that. So 1 hectare is a little bit more than an acre. All right, so you need like around 2.5 acres to have 1 hectare. So this is the conversion between metric, imperial to imperial, and metric to imperial. So these are the rates. All right, so it's very important to know about them. All right, so as mentioned earlier, you do not need to cram all these calculations in your head. However, it is important to familiarize yourself about the nature of all the units, so that you can be able to make judgments as well as informed decisions. All right, so here I made some comparisons between different units. You see this, let's say this is a meter. All right, just like this meter ruler here. Oops. Okay, just like this meter ruler here. So inside this meter ruler here, you have this 1 centimeter is around here. If you are to check, 1 centimeter is around here. Let's say from here to here can be 1 centimeter. Okay, then 100 centimeters means what? 1 meter. This is a meter ruler. All right. So if you look at the video here, if you look at this picture here, you are going to see that if this was a meter rule, 1 centimeter is going to be like this, and you're going to need 100 of this to complete the ruler here in order to have 1 meter. All right. So remember a yard. Imagine also this is another meter ruler. All right. So a yard does not reach a meter. So when you go to the market and they tell you a meter of something is $100. All right, and they use a yardstick. Know that they are cutting you a little bit. Tell them to use meters. Tell them to use tape line. Otherwise, for every time, even us when we are importing stuff from China, all right, our shipping agent, our forwarder, tells us that they charge us per CBM. Remember I told you they charge us per cubic meters. But what you realize that is that those people, when they are measuring, they use yards, because yards is always smaller than a meter, because look at this is a meter. All right. And then when you use yard, it does not reach a meter. That means that they are cutting you here, they are not supposed to. So that means that they overcharge us just by them. The Chinese people there, they use yards. They should be using meters. They should be using meters. But they're using yard, because they know that they will charge you more when they use yards. All right, so you have to know that. That's why I have to go there and make sure that when they are measuring, because when they are measuring it, I'm not there, but I'm suspect, because when they bring it, when I measure it, I'm like, no, this is not more than a cubic meter. Let's say they will tell us something is like 5 cubic meters, and they charge us a lot of money for that. And when I measure, when they bring it here and I measure it, it does not reach 5 cubic meters. It's like around 4 cubic meters. And when I tell them, they say it's 5. I tell them, no, you are using yards, because if you use yards, it will be more, and they will charge us more dollars. All right. So meter to yard, a yard is a little bit smaller than a meter. All right. So let's say centimeter to millimeters. All right. 10 of this, 10 millimeters make what? Make 1 centimeter. Let's imagine this was a 1 centimeter here. So you need 10 millimeters, 1, 2, 3, up to 10 times to have 1 millimeter. All right. So the same thing with weight. All right. So with weight here, you need 2 pounds. 2 pounds to have 1 kilogram. 1 kilogram. So approximately 2 pounds. So if for example, my weight, if I can remember, is 64 grams. And 64 by 2 is like 64 kilograms, sorry. 64 kilograms. And 64 kilograms by 2 will give you around 120, yes, 124 pounds. Well, it's a little bit like more, because for me, when you check my weight in pounds, it's around 140 area. But it's a little bit more. Even if you check this here, you'll know that it's a little bit more. I just approximated a little bit. When you check mass, you see 1 pound, 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. That means that you need 2 pounds and a little bit to have 1 kilogram. All right, it's just approximated to 2. All right, so you see here 2 pounds is equal to 1 kilogram. You need 2 pounds to have 1 kilogram. So just know that when somebody say, hey, I'm 5 pounds heavy, or I'm like 10 pounds, I'm like, just tell them, just times it by, just divide it by 2 to have, if you are comfortable with kilograms, because us here we use kilo. I'm in love with a cocoa. I got it. I mean, I fucking right. Kilo, they mostly use it in drug dealers, drug dealers, they use how many kilos of cocaine. Just kidding. All right. So you see here a foot here. Let's say it's not like those short foots. I'm talking about size 47, size 46 fits. My foot is around like. I think I measured it earlier. I think it's around 25 centimeters. But a long foot. In the olden days they have long feet. So a foot is around 30 centimeters, and it's like a size 47 foot, not just like this small size 40 people. Okay, so this is 1 foot. All right, 1 foot is equal to 1 centimeters. All right, so 1 liter. This is like 1 liter. You remember, a Don Simon bottle is 1 liter. It's equal to 500 milliliters times 2. This is the small water bottles. All right. I don't want to like this. This is the small water bottles, as you can see here. 2 of this thing will fill. Let's say if you take a Don Simon juice, juice of Don Simon, and you want to share it between 2 people equally, they will be able to fill this 2 of this. You will fill 2 of this, and then give each person their stuff. So this is a 500 milliliter bottle, like 0.5 liters. All right. So that's the thing.